Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome to this video. Welcome back to me talking about The Boys, because I talked about Gen V when it came out, and like a Season 4 retrospective as well. And we are 6 episodes into Season 5, the last season. Homelander is at his peak, his most dangerous, and the boys are the closest they've ever been, which is also not very close, to killing Homelander, which is their ultimate goal. So, I really, really love The Boys. It's got action and suspense and a lot of fights. It's very bloody and gory. It's very graphic, and not a lot of shows do go there or want to go there. And then especially Season 3 and onward, it's very politically charged. The show has something to say, whether people like it or not. And a lot of people do not like it, and they make sure they're heard. A very common thing, a good litmus test for like a coworker, to see if there's a chance that they might be aligned more to the right, is if you bring up The Boys and they say, "Oh, I don't like how political it became." I just don't really understand it, especially since the first 2 seasons as well are very... Let me get my cat. The first 2 seasons are politically charged. It's just a little more subtle, and it's not having so many political like scenes or characters, but commentating on celebrity culture and the way we prop people up and then break them down. The Hollywood machine, the capitalist machine. It's criticizing that, as well as, comic books and the MCU especially, which that is one cool thing that the show has over the comic book, is it's coming out more recently. I'm not sure exactly when the comic came out, and I've only read a few issues. But they're able to make fun of the MCU and more recent stuff like Dawn of the Seven, which is kind of a mashup of making fun of Avengers and Batman v Superman. The show just has a lot going on. It's making fun of Trump, and there's like an AOC stand-in, Firecracker. A lot of people, and Eric Kripke might have even said so, is a lot like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just like very like, at your service, sir, anything you need. So I think this show has some merit, even if a lot of the writing might be very heavy-handed, or not handled all the way perfectly. But I think this show does have merit, even if a lot of it is heavy-handed and not so subtle. But anyways, speaking of Firecracker, I really do want to talk about this new season. So they're trying to get V1, which is the version of V that Soldier Boy had, where they had early on, where you're like immortal. You're superhuman and you're immortal, instead of just being superhuman. So Homelander's trying to find it, and he resurrects Soldier Boy. He resurrects his dad. And, Soldier Boy still isn't quite sold on Homelander, even after he was, kept, even after he was brought alive by him. But he also comments like, "Oh, you're just keeping me in your room, you fucking weirdo." They reveal, that they both slept with Stormfront, which is very interesting to say the least. But people were also commentating how like bloodlines having incestuous relationships is like popular because they want to stay pure, and the superheroes want to do the same thing. And spoilers for episode 6, ultimately that's what Soldier Boy does succumb to. He, after Bombshell gives Soldier Boy the V, Soldier Boy depowers Bombshell and does his blast and kills him, and then just gives V1 to Homelander. And he has that moment of his eyes going up to the sky. It's just, which is just a big bombshell to drop before the last 2 episodes. I mean, I think, some of this season has been treading water. They've sped things up a lot in 4, 5, and 6. With Firecracker dying. Firecracker's one shot, the episode 5, the one shots of Firecracker, Noir, whatever Butcher's dog's name is, Terror, yeah. She was given so much depth. I took notes on episode 4 and 6, and they are very good episodes, but episode 4 surprised me the most. I think having Terror as a main POV for a shot, some people did clown on, like, oh, this show has so many threads juggling, but it takes time for fucking Terror, this fucking dog. But I think that brought a good amount of levity to the show too, because it's very dark, it's very depressing. You kind of need those moments of release, even if it's Terror like wanting to fuck a toy Homelander, which is kind of funny. It's hilarious. This show, it's great. And then, speaking of hilarious, in episode 6, the movie theater parody of Nicole Kidman saying, oh, we come to the movies for love and for action. It's just so, this show's commentating on our culture. Even if it's not criticizing it, it's just presenting it too. Firecracker, doing the parody. Like, a lot of the show just feels tailored to me. And then episode 6 is in a movie theater, which obviously hits home for me. I've worked for, now I've worked for 3 movie theaters, because I'm working at Alamo Drafthouse now, and it's been great, and then it's perfect. The legend working there, I mean, still wants to be in show business. They're also making fun of the popcorn buckets, like the Deep has his own popcorn bucket. And then they're meeting MM and the legend. MM, has become a little more like Butcher. He's like, the whole world's gone crazy. I'm just catching up. He's definitely a different character than he was in the early days. And a lot of people had picked up on that from him getting the water straight from the toilet in the prison camp that they were in. That's another thing this show is commentating on. The detention camps the U.S. has set up for immigrants is 1-to-1 the Homelander camps. They honestly could get away with calling the detention camps, the ICE detention camps, they could get away calling them Trump camps. They can do whatever they want. I mean, it's scary out there with clowns running the casino. And this show was meant to be a cautionary tale, because it was shot and written and everything before Trump was elected in November of last year. And, it makes the show just even more of a kind of a splash of water right in your face. It's gross, a lot of the stuff going on. And, a lot of people like to shit on it, saying like, oh, this show, I don't like that it has political commentary. Like, keep that shit away. I don't want to think about it. Honestly, having political commentary, and like heavier themes in movies and shows and books, games, anything, that's how you cope with shit. That it is an outlet. I know it's not the exact escapism people think of when you bring up escapism, but it really is. But, going back to Firecracker, her arc was done really, really well. It's just heartbreaking. It's just really heartbreaking. I think it completely changes her character, really. And, you know, it is kind of not so subtle, but Annie and Huey address that. They're like, well, maybe she was human, and Homelander killed her because of that. I mean, crying one small tear from trying to tell the truth, but not being able to get the words out on national television, and outing your previous pastor, framing him for being a trafficker. After having a meeting with him, it's just heartbreaking. And you know, I expected some people to go. I'm not sure I expected Firecracker to go. But also her powers kind of suck. Like just as much as Starlight's powers suck. So see, episode 6 ends with the Deep dying, Firecracker dying, you know, and then Soldier Boy giving Homelander the V1. So like they've gotten stronger, but they're also not in terms of numbers. So, you know, I also don't really know how I feel about them destroying themselves like from the inside out, because there's really, you know, Frenchie did have some good moments in episode 4 when they go to like the nightmare place and he has to like snap everyone out of being aggressive and stuff and rally the team together. But you know, the boys really haven't done much. They've gotten a few leads and they were close to getting Bombshell. But man, everything has been reset with you know, Homelander getting the V1. So we'll see. They got a lot of ground to cover in these last 2 episodes. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention was the environmentalist themes with the Deep. The Deep doing like a PSA saying, "Oh, oil this is perfectly safe. This oil rig, this oil pipeline," and then Noir fucking goes in, fucks it up as retribution for killing his theater director. The Deep actually cares about fish, calls it fish genocide, and you know, it's obviously bringing up like, oh, is an animal's life more valuable than a human's life, that sort of thing. Yeah, this show's been really, really good. I think season 5 is probably, I think it's better than season 4, maybe better than season 3, but 1 and 2 were top tier. Those were like, so it's, my ranking so far, we'll see how the ending goes, but it's like 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. But I do like aspects of all seasons. Yeah, crazy ending. We'll see where it goes from here, and I'm excited to make a video on it. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more Tom Cruise, more Tag Pro, and maybe a scrap video, maybe a cat video or 2. Thank you for watching.